Okay, so lesson three we're looking at now. Bit of distortion on the mic there, sorry about that. Lesson three, working in the creative media industries. And one of the key areas that the exam board want you to focus on, okay, is interview techniques. Okay, understanding that there are different interview techniques and different things you need to consider when you're interviewing. Okay, so this ties into learning aim A5. Okay, so we've covered learning aims A1, A2, A3, and A4 in the first two lessons. We're now just looking at A5. Okay, I can't get it to go on to the next slide. Here we go. So, interview techniques. It's a really important part of working in any industry, but the creative industries, for you guys specifically, it's really important because part of your skill set as a media producer stems from your personality, really, and your creative ability. So, in this interview process, making sure that that is put across is really, really important. Some of the things you need to consider, okay, is how you present yourself to the employer. Because you want to come across as confident in your ability, but not arrogant. Sometimes that can be quite a tricky balance to find. So, appearing confident in your field and showing knowledge that and understanding that you know what you're talking about. You're a competent producer, you know what you're doing, you know the key terminology, you know how to use the software. Just even your tone of voice, projects confidence. But if you're too overly confident and it's kind of misplaced confidence, then it can come across as being quite arrogant, and that's something that's possibly going to work. Well, likely is going to work against you. Okay, so finding that balance can be tricky, and it's often worth having a bit of a role play scenario with one of your friends or a family member. Get them to be just really honest with you about how you're presenting yourself and how you're coming across. Something else to consider is the dress code. Okay, when you step up from university even, or college or sixth form, into a workplace environment, your dress code often will need to change quite significantly. Up to this point in life, you can kind of wear what you like, experiment with different looks, different outfits. When you come to the workplace, it's really important that you fit in and that you dress appropriately for the workplace and in a way that really kind of is a reflection and a representation of who you are. So we find this balance in the media industries between, making sure that we're creative but also smart. So, this is a very personal thing, really, because for me, for example, I wouldn't want to go to work every day in a black suit and a white shirt. It would possibly feel like that's not really a representation of who I am. In some industries, that is expected of you. And on the same token, if I wear jeans and a hoodie, that's not really smart, is it? I'm not looking smart, I'm not feeling smart, and therefore subconsciously I'm probably not acting smart, and people aren't sort of interpreting me as, taking things seriously. So I'm sure this is a whole area of study in itself, but you just need to consider dressing appropriately for the workplace. And when I say appropriately, I don't just mean literally appropriately, but I mean making sure that you're dressing in a way that reflects who you are and is relevant to that sector. We can then move on to interpersonal skills. Okay, interpersonal skills are the way in which you communicate with people, and that's a combination of verbal language and body language. Okay, and then all of these things that are listed on the next bullet point. So, language, tone, eye-to-eye contact, the way that you sit, and your body language, it all communicates a message to somebody, and they are your interpersonal skills. Okay, and it's really simple but really important. If you're sat there with your arms crossed, you're looking away, you're not really listening to what somebody's saying, it's going to come across that you're not listening and you don't really care. That's really obvious, isn't it? So maybe next time you're in the classroom, might seem like a long way off right now, but maybe next time you're in the classroom, have a look around at people's body language and their interpersonal skills and think, how do I feel about the body language of that person? Does it show me that they're engaged? Does it show me that they're not? Does it show me that they're confident, that they're arrogant, that they are lacking confidence? All of these things paint a picture about somebody, and it all forms part of the puzzle that forms who you are, in a way, on how you're presenting yourself. So it's a bit of a cliche phrase, but first impressions really are everything. If you get the first impression right, you can build on that from there. You only get a chance to make a first impression once. So be confident, be happy, be approachable, be up for the challenge, smile. If you seem like you're enjoying the experience, then you will start to enjoy the experience. What we're seeing in the creative sector more than ever is that employers are hiring staff that they believe will bring something positive to their team. Okay, so you may not be the best producer there is at this stage, but if you're going to fit into the team, if you're going to bring something to the table, those interpersonal skills, those team working skills, far more important than your ability in a piece of software. I'm not saying this is the case everywhere, but we're seeing this more and more. And the reason for that is those skills can be learnt in software. They can be developed, they can be taught, they can be shared. But the skills to want to get on with someone and to work well as a team and to have the confidence to try out new things and to be proactive, that they are more difficult skills to learn. You can learn them, but the people that naturally have those skills are far more valuable to an organisation. So you need to make sure you come across as a team player, a proactive thinker, someone that's not just going to sit there and wait until they're given something to do. They're going to be proactive and try out new ideas and find things to do. All round a positive employee, an ambitious worker. All of these things, in my opinion, will go much further than an outstanding skill set behind someone that's really arrogant. And I have been in a position where I've been hiring staff in the creative sector, and that absolutely is the stance that I was taking and that all of the people around me were taking that were in a similar position. Because it can only take one person in a team of maybe 10 people that's a real difficult person to work with, and it ruins that entire team. If I'm the person that's hiring, I'm not going to take that risk. I'm going to make sure I hire someone that fits in with my team. If their skill set is not quite there yet, the team around them will help them to grow that and develop that. But these interpersonal skills really are a priority. Okay, now this is a very important difference to make. Confidence is understanding your strengths, understanding what you're good at and focusing on them. Arrogance is ignoring your weaknesses. Okay, don't bury your head in the sand. Be honest with yourself. What are you not very good at? Take the time to try and improve those things, but know that there are some things that you are very good at and you have to focus on those. Okay, so this is the kind of mindset that you really should be trying to get into. I'd definitely recommend watching this TED Talk, 10 Ways to Have a Better Conversation. I'll put a link to it in the comment section below. But definitely watch this. A really good TED Talk to get you into that kind of mind space. So your task for this part of the assignment, you need to pass on your knowledge of these interview techniques to a set of students. This is a little scenario that have just signed up to study media production. They're hoping to work in the industry long term. Okay, so this could be our set of year 12s, to be honest with you. There's an opportunity for all of these students to interview for a voluntary position at a local photography studio. Before they do that, what do they need to know before they attend that interview? Okay, you can expand on what I've just told you. You can research it a bit further, watch that TED Talk, summarize the things that they need to know before they attend that interview.